Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, word to my brethren out in Chicago, Illinois. Shout out to Chicago, Illinois. I just came back from Chicago, Illinois. Was over there for a couple days at the Legacy Conference. So shout out to the great people out there. But now I am back, and we are doing YouTube videos and catching up on the news, and we'll be giving our opinions on many things going on in the world of pugilism. Also got an interview with Adrian Granados coming out, and a couple other things, so stay tuned for that. But in this video right here that I'm going to make, kind of another thing, it's another thing in regards to the whole Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev saga. If you guys haven't heard, on boxing.com, they just reported recently that Sergey Kovalev's team files protests with the Nevada State Athletic Commission to make his loss to Andre Ward a no contest. I'll give you guys my opinion on that in a minute, but here's what I'll read you guys from the article verbatim. It says in the article that Kovalev's lawyers have stated that the Nevada State Athletic Commission that the fight was stopped early due to low blows. Here's what they said in regards to them trying to get the decision changed and everything else in regards to this. They said, I quote, "It is very important that the commission understand that a protest is not an attack upon the competence of the referee, any more than a video replay in the NFL or MLB is an attack on the competence of officials in those leagues. It is an opportunity to get it right where error may have been made. Mr. Weeks is in our list of a highly competent official, and nothing herein should be constructed as an attack of his overall competence." He then goes on by saying, I quote, "From that misinterpretation of the rules, seemingly every time Ward got in trouble, he hit Sergey Kovalev low. We are submitting this video showing a large number of low blows," end quote. Now look, I don't gotta get into how I feel about this fight. I've spoke my piece. I've been very spirited on how I feel the fight went. But I will say this, and this is coming from somebody who is a Sergey Kovalev fan, someone who, just I like seeing him fight. I think he's still a great light heavyweight. I think, worst case scenario, he should have had at least one win in this, series of two fights. I think he won the first fight pretty convincingly. But regardless of that, I got to say, Kovalev has to move on, man. He has to move on because boxing is going to go on without him. And right now, we're looking at his career. He's about 33, 34 years old. He's gotten some good wins in the past against the Nathan Cleverleys of the world, Bernard Hopkins, John Pascal. I thought he'd be rewarded in the first fight, but obviously it's not on record as a win. So he's still, in my opinion, a great light heavyweight, but he has to move on from this because either he's gonna retire or his career is gonna go in a really, really bad direction. And I don't want to see that happen to him. I think he can still give a lot of these guys a run for their money and regain his titles back. And who knows, maybe if the money's right and their paths cross, they can have a third fight. But regardless of that, he may have Sullivan Barrera coming his way, and that's going to be a hard fight for him to win. And like I said, man, he's got to move on from this because it's crying over spilt milk at this point. Like, obviously, there was definitely a number of low blows in that fight, and maybe he didn't get his just due. But I think what we've been seeing from Kovalev, I understand that you're mad at the injustice. As I've been mad at the injustice. I get mad at any injustice in boxing, but you got to move on from it because this stuff rarely gets overturned. And if it does get overturned, good for him. If not, either way, he's got to move on and focus on what's next for him. Either he's going to stay at light heavyweight and fight a Sullivan Barrera or a Vazdik or a Beterbiev, which are all going to be tough matchups for him. Light heavyweight division is one of the most deepest divisions in all of boxing right now. So there's that option. Or you can go fight an Adonis Stevenson, go up to Cruz. I mean, whatever Adonis Stevenson does, I think the fight with him and Adonis Stevenson now, if he still wants to go that route, is a lot more realistic to make because, when has Sergey Kovalev ever looked more beatable than after the second fight with Andre Ward? This is a guy, Andre Ward. When we look at Andre Ward, he's not a big puncher. It's funny because the only guy he's ever stopped that you could even deem world level is Chad Dawson, but we all know Chad Dawson was weight drained. Kovalev, on the other hand, he's campaigned a light heavyweight his whole career, so you can't make the excuse that he didn't stop a guy at their best natural weight. That is Kovalev's best natural weight. And, questionable stoppage or not, it goes down as a stoppage for Ward. So, like I said, man, if it does get overturned, I'll be the first to say that, I'll be happy about it because I do think there were low blows in that fight. But I'll also be the first to say that Kovalev, as much as I like him and respect him and his team, they've all got to move on. And I think, mentally, they've shown a lot of weakness, and I'm hoping that he can come back and prove to the world that, hey, look, I'm still one of the best fighters in the world. I'm still one of the best light heavyweights, and you gave Andre Ward a gift in the first fight, and I had some adjustments done to me in the second fight, but I'm still here and I'm still standing. That's the way I want to see Kovalev, kind of, because he's old. He's pretty old now, so he doesn't have that many fights left, and you like to see him kind of go out on a good note of overcoming that adversity, beating some top level guys, and becoming a world champion again, because I think he's fully capable of that. But that is the news, and we'll see what happens as further things come out with in regards to this, of Kovalev filing for protest with the Nevada State Athletic Commission to get the Ward loss turned to a no contest due to the low blows. I don't got to really say how I feel about it. I spoke my piece. I think, it is what it is. But he's got to move on, as I've moved on. But I'm just reporting this because it is relevant to boxing. So we'll see what happens. Kovalev, hopefully you get your act together for your next fight, because a lot of guys are looking at Kovalev right now, and some of the same guys who may abduct him and fear the guy because he was a damn good fighter, still on his best night. Long, rangy boxer, puncher, deceptively athletic. Can still beat a lot of guys, but right now a lot of these guys are seeing a lot of vulnerability, and they're feeling very froggy and wanting to make that leap at Kovalev. So he's got a lot of work to do, and we'll see what happens with the rest of his career. But him and his team filed for a protest with the NSAC. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, what you think about this. Take the time to subscribe, and as I always say, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.